Alright, well, last few weeks I've been doing, basically the last 3 weeks, I've been introducing you guys to my audio book series that I am doing here on Geekanomicon on my YouTube channel. And I wanted to explain a little bit about each of the series. That's what's going to go on this week. We're not going to have any additions to them yet. That'll be next week. But starting today, you're going to get a little background on the support characters that are going to be in here. Now, for Walkers of the Storm, there's quite a few. But first and foremost is my Captain America, as it were, my Superman of this universe, which is Freya Kaine. And Freya Kaine, her story is kind of an introduction to the world. You're going to get to see where she lives, which is the city of Usher. And if that sounds kind of strange, yeah, we're going to have a video about the aspects when that comes about. You'll understand a little bit more. Right now, I'm just going to get into the characters that are part of Freya Kaine's story, especially Freya herself. Now, it's no secret that I am a big fan of the Dragoons in Final Fantasy, and I did not want to literally go, okay, here's a Dragoon. I wanted to come up with something on my own, and I came up with two things. And I decided to meld it all together. And the other thing I wanted to do was come up with something a la like the Dark Stars or Green Lantern Corps or the Nova Corps, but not so star spanning. Just since this is a world that has multiple dimensions and multiple aspects to it, these are groups that actually help police those worlds. And there's 3 groups. 2 of them are pretty rare. One, by sheer luck. One, not so much because it's new. Freya is part of that newer group, which are the Bursters. Now, Bursters use a modified lance called a Fuser, and they rush forward, not with a mount or anything, and they don't jump up in the air like a Dragoon. They rush forward really quick. It's a skill that they've learned. And it does incorporate a little bit of magic, sometimes a little bit of tech, depends on the Burster and what they want to do. The Fuser itself is a combination of steam tech and magic and rune magic, and it's a little bit wider stock lance and shorter. When it hits, it does tend to impale, but it has multiple things that can happen once it has hit its target. There is one particular Burster that uses a dulled lance dulled Fuser because he doesn't like inflicting mortal wounds. But Freya uses the standard Fuser, which does impale upon impact. And once it does that, she can pull the trigger, and the trigger on it will cause it to burst, and has varied effects depending on what they're trying to do. In the opening scenario, you saw it blow off the Everend's leg. It's not always going to blow off somebody's leg. It might just go in and do a paralytic agent. There's multiple things that a Fuser can do. And Freya is the person that actually came up with creating the Burster Corps. And the Burster Corps is only 12 members at the moment. So you got 12 members across 12 different worlds. And they're growing. And then each one of these Bursters knows how to train another one. And if another Burster gets trained, they move on to another world. And that's how that works. Now, Freya also had the idea of making a trio on each world comprised of members from each of the 3 groups. And her being the one that created this whole idea, this whole concept of the 3 groups working together, she had assumed that it would be her luck to work with a gunslinger, and the gunslingers are very rare. And jumpers are literally my Dragoons, but the jumpers are commonplace, believe it or not. There's a lot of them. They have different talents, different ways of doing things depending on the jumper, but literally they jump up in the air and come back down. They use wind magic. But Freya had assumed her little trio was already set because she was on the core. core world. And she quickly finds out as this goes on that that's not the case. Now, to get to know Freya a little bit, she's not human. She's a pale grue, and I know a lot of you are probably sitting there going, "Oh, in the darkness, we're most likely get eaten by a grue." Nope, 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 nope. It's just the word grue. It does mean something. Kind of means an absence of color. And I have 3 varieties of grue. Now, the void grues, or what are also called lurkers, they deal with a reputation of, hey, we might eat you in the darkness, but they don't really do that. It's more like they make their problems disappear, and basically they incarcerate them. They're not bad guys, by the way. Lurkers just appear to be bad guys. They really aren't. But you won't be seeing any of the void grues in this particular series. If you're on my Discord, you will. Very quickly, because there's a member on that Discord series that I'm doing. But Freya herself, as the leader of the Bursters and a pale grue, is really hard pressed to figure out what's going on, because she didn't realize, because she just assumed everybody was going to fall in line with her, and a problem arose. Whereas the gunslinger on this world, on her world, is teetering with the notion that she might retire because the love of her existence came back and they want to spend time together. That being said, they're part of a group, and that group is the Walkers of the Storm, which you've seen a little bit of a hint at last week. And because that's going on, the gunslinger's unavailable. Now, there's also another retired gunslinger here, Dwana. She's a human, aged human, and she's like, I'm too old to do this. I'm sorry, I can't do this. But we'll look for a replacement gunslinger for you. But to Dwana's understanding, then there's somebody waiting for Freya that might be a likely substitute for a while. And Freya's just kind of like, okay, what about the jumper I'm supposed to work with, which is also a member of the same team. And the leader of that team has requested that jumper stay around to help her train new people for the team in case the gunslinger and her love just leave. Which is, oh crap. So she immediately found out, I'm screwed. The 2 people that were supposed to help me can't. They're not available. I am solo on my own world. And she's like, great, I trained all these people to work together and I'm out of luck. But as she's brought to the attention the Fates, who are my main force of reasoning and force of reckoning on my worlds, have other ideas sometimes, especially if you're paying homage to the number 3. And Freya has been told that she has somebody waiting that might be a worthy substitute back in her hometown. And she's just, where I've left it, she's on her road, and she sees something in the distance. She has no desire to go see this person because she didn't like the name. She's automatically assuming, and you see the phrase not perfect. She's automatically assuming, great, because she's not a fan of heroes that take on like superhero names. She's a fan of people using their real name, putting it out there, because no one on these worlds really hides their identity. Being a hero, there's not even any masks involved. They just take the names for flair. And she just goes, okay, great, I have to deal with this. And it's true, because the 2 people she was going to use, she was assuming she was going to work with, were just using their regular names. So you get to the fact that she's approaching one of the people she doesn't know she's going to be grouping with, which is a character named Doomscythe. Now, I'm not going to give you what Doomscythe is, but I will say she's kind of unique. She has black and gray skin with feathered plumes all over the place. She doesn't know who she is, but she is. Now, I'm going to say this, she knows who herself is, but she doesn't know what she is. Put it that way. She doesn't know her own origins. She is a paladin. She is an answer to a paladin that she uses a sword and a shield that seem techish in nature, but actually they're runish in nature. Her armor is pure white and sleek and has glowing lines all around it. She's the epitome of a paladin through and through. She takes things very seriously. She doesn't like things that, she would predeterminedly be bad, like demons and whatnot. And this is a world where you don't want to judge first just by what someone is, or judging is not good. You got to get to know a person or understand what their actions are before you can pass judgment on somebody here. Doing otherwise, not so keen. So she's going to meet Doomscythe along the way. And Doomscythe is going to be one of the main themes throughout the whole story. She's gonna help Doom figure out. She's gonna help Scythe. I don't call her Doom. She's gonna help find Scythe's origin, or get closer to it, as it were. And then when she's gotten to her, and they meet when she meets up with her, you're gonna meet one of the main foils of the whole story. They head back to Usher after they've come to an understanding, etc., and they meet with the last little member of the trio. And this is where things get interesting, because I've already put the name in the story, and you know that you're probably automatically going, what kind of a freaking name is that? The last person in this little trio for Freya Kaine is going to be Bubblegum, a Croyer. Now, I know, you're going, what the frick is that name? Kind of, a Croyer is a type of Roman soldier, but this is not a Roman. None of these three ladies are human, by the way. So that's one of the precepts I'm trying to get away from. I don't have a lot of male characters. You're gonna sit there and go, this is a heroic universe with a lot of female characters. All three of these, female, none of them are human. Not in the least. And I'll give that to you where Doomscythe is concerned. She does not have human origins. Bubblegum is a being of living energy, pretty much. She's also my answer to, hey, anime people who wield big swords. She has a very, very big sword. Her armor is purple and pinkish, and the energy around the sword that she uses is also pink. She does that she's kind of going to be the comic relief of the group, whereas Freya is she does have a sense of humor, but it's pretty well grounded. Doomscythe is the straight person of the group, gonna go, I just don't get it. The Drax, basically. And Bubblegum McCrayer is my answer to Pinkie Pie. You're gonna find out that energy that's being contained by that armor is just one wild fluff piece. And it's not to say that she's like Deadpool or anything like that. She's just kind of happy-go-lucky, ready to be a hero. And she has a crucial task, and her crucial task is the other half of the story you're going to see unfold. And naturally, as we get through this, you're going to find that Freya's always going to be at odds with them, because she's like, these aren't the people I want to be working with. I want to be working with what I established. That's the constant foil. That's going to be the big push antagonist for this whole thing, is Freya's misconceptions of what she wanted versus what was actually needed for Usher. And you'll see that as we go. And that's literally what I'm doing here, is setting the stage for these characters so you can actually understand what I'm doing. I've tried for years to get published, and I've just given up on trying to get it done because my health, no one wants to take risks on my health and whatnot. So I've turned it all into audiobook or kind of comic book series without pictures here on YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoy it, because it has been a thrill for me to actually sit down and start working on this and get it going. So there's literally, each thing is going to be a 25 issue arc. I'm not going to do one page a day. As soon as I am done with these introductory videos this week, you're going to see like 2 or 3 pages a day for each character concept. Now, because of my health, I can't promise that will stay as thing, but there will be at least one video per day. except for Saturday and Sunday, which I do not stream. I do not do any recordings on Saturday and Sunday. It's just for recoup on those days. But I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys are having a good time and enjoying life, as it were, in these days that we have ahead of us. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the near future, and I hope you're enjoying Freya Kaine here on Geekanomicon.